want to do this other video real quick and show you guys how you can save some money on these shifter bushings. So let's get into it. So in here, when you're rebuilding your, let me just show you guys this. When you're rebuilding your shifter, you're going to loosen this bolt here. You can pull this out here. So the thing you need to know is usually when you take these things apart, you're going to find a lot of powder in here. And that's basically a bunch of little pieces of plastic that have worn down from all the years of back and forth, you know, whatever with the shifter. That happens. So you take this off, typically just leave that to the side. These are the things that wear down. They'll be like, the plastic that you'll see on here is going to be this. It's important to get these greased and that you guys use something that's compatible with a plastic, a type of grease that is. These little buggers create a little bit of slop in here, and these ones aren't too bad actually. These ones are pretty good. But if these were bad, you'd be able to move this back and forth without actually moving the spring. So basically this thing's going to be wobbling back and forth. So it's just going to be extra play in the shift as you're about to change gears. And that's not a good thing, obviously. Anyway, the fix that I've made is I'll turn down this. This is just typical 1/2-inch PVC plumbing pipe. And you can get this from Home Depot for like $3. You can get like 10 feet of it or so, or 8 feet, I think, whatever. It's not very expensive, considering that if you go to the dealership and you buy one of these, it's probably like $8-10. You know, a small fortune. You'll spend a small fortune on little pieces of plastic. And don't get me wrong, you know, if you're the kind of person that loves to have all OEM parts, I understand. But if you're stuck in a position where you've got to be able to drive your car and you don't want to spend all that money, or it's going to take a while to get these in stock at your dealership or stealership, just forget about those and go to Home Depot and buy this. You do need tools, though, to make this work with this. I'll take this and I'll drill out the inside so that this bolt will basically fit inside of this. If you slowly drill this out, you'll just have enough left on the outside of this to work on the inside of this here. So basically, see how this almost fits? I actually have like several feet of this, and I use like a pipe cutter, you know, typical pipe cutter, PVC pipe cutter, to the length of, you know, your shifter. So what you're going to end up doing is after you drill this out to about the size of this bolt here, you don't want to be exactly that size. You do want a little bit of grab on this. Just do it really slowly, and you know, take your time. When you do drill this out, you got to be really careful that you don't mess up your hands or anything. So I like to put this the lower half in a vise or something to really hold it, and drill it like halfway through, then flip it around and then do the other side, so that, you know, you're not holding on to this and drilling it with the drill, because that can mess up your hands. You know, obviously wear safety goggles and, you know, the whole 9 yards. After you get the inside of this drilled out to fit on this, don't slide it on here all the way, because it'll be very difficult for you to get it off. Once you know that it'll kind of fit on there, take it off, put this in a punch set, an actual set from Harbor Freight I actually bought that actually fits on the inside of these really well, and stick this on the handle of the punch set, and you'd stick the other end of the punch in your power drill, and then go over to your bench grinder, and you turn on your drill so it spins this, and then you slowly wick away at this material. I have an actual picture that I'll include in the video, so you guys can actually see a comparison of, you know, the finished product of this versus this. And actually, honestly think this is a better design than this. And the reason for that is you're actually going to be covering all of the area there, and you're using all of this area to create a bushing, a plastic bushing that's going to go all the way in there, as opposed to just on the ridge. Over time, as this wears down, it's going to be, force is going to be acting upon this area here and this area here, and it's constantly going to be wearing against it until this turns into a powder, and when it does, that's just going to be a mess. But when you have something about this size all the way on there, you're going to be putting stress in the same area probably, but you have like all of this in the center, so you have more material also by doing it this way. Before we go over to the bench grinder, let me just show you guys something real quick here. Let's take this off. So, assuming you ground this inside out a bit, you should be able to fit, this is a punch that you can get from Harbor Freight in a set. It would be ground down enough to where it'll slide in to this end on the handle, and these little ridges hold on to the actual inside of the tube there. Basically, it allows you to stick this on this, and then you'd stick this end into your drill. If you have a lathe, you just have to make a jig or find, the appropriate stuff to make a jig to mount this to. And you can slowly just wick away at the outside of this to the exact amount that you need. But we're going to do this the other way that's more common, that people are going to probably, more people are going to have a bench grinder than a lathe. So I'm just going to show you guys real quick how this works. You're just going to stick this end on this and imagine it's there. And then you turn this in the opposite direction of your bench grinder. And you wear eye protection, obviously, and hand protection. Okay, so here's the bench grinder, and you can see that I've been using it lately for this. This is a sharpening wheel. So you stick this end on your drill, and because the rotation is down, you want to be going in reverse on your drill bit, and it's going to spin this way. And you slowly wick away against it, like that, pretty much. And if there's any high spots, you want to target those just a little bit. But you want to take this really slow. And as you do that, it'll eventually thin the amount of material that you have on the outside, because you already thinned the inside, so that'll fit around the actual bolt that goes on the shifter assembly. And then when you get this ground down enough, it'll work. Basically, my whole setup to bring these down to the right size. If you mess up, don't worry, because you have 5 more feet of this or 8 more feet of this to play with, or try to make it work with. So yeah, that's my method. I hope this helps some of you guys out. So please rate, comment, subscribe, and have a good one.